Okay. Hello, my name is Andre. I'm 10 years old, and this is my aunt.
Hey, I'm Kenzie. I'm 31, and I am so excited. I don't know what I was gonna say. Um, hey, I'm Kenzie. I'm 31, and Andre is my nephew. We're starting this podcast because we just want to spend more time together, and I think that this is going to be a great way for us to kind of talk and share stories and just from different parts of our life, even though we are family. We didn't, I think you were like, what, 5 when we met, Andre?
I
Right?
think, what, it was like the first time of me visiting in North Carolina,
Yeah, I think you were
and I
5
was like,
because you were getting ready
I
to
think I
start
was 4.
school.
I was
Yeah,
4.
yeah, you're right because you started school when you were 5 and you hadn't
Yeah.
started school yet when you went to New York.
Yeah, so,
Yeah. So we met when Andre was, he wasn't a baby. So we didn't really get to bond and have that experience like I've had with, my other nieces and nephews. And so I've just been like, we've actually talked a lot on the phone lately.
yeah.
And I've really enjoyed that. Remember that game we played? It was like Scrabble or something. And I kept
I think it
getting
was
the
called Word.
E's.
Yeah, she kept getting, she had, 5 different E's in this, Facebook Messenger game. And,
But it was
she
like
was,
Scrabble, so you couldn't make any words.
yeah, she just got, there was, 5 different E's, and she was like, then she finally finds a word she can place the E in, and she just gets another E.
Right, right. And so essentially, I couldn't make any words. Andre kicked my butt. And he was like, we should play this again. And I was like, yeah, no, I don't want to play again. It's terrible. But after that night,
biased.
I've just... Right, right. And I just loved that. I loved being able to talk to you. And we talked about so much different stuff that I think that putting it on video, I think would just be amazing.
Yeah, because it's not really putting in any effort. All we're doing is just speaking to each other and just having fun.
Right. But we have such good, meaningful conversation, I think.
Yeah.
Anyways, what we want to talk about, which you and I have talked about this, so you can add some things into it as well. But we want to talk about school and how school was different for you and me. How things have changed recently in the school system. And then also just check in every once in a while if there's anything world news happening, like the election coming up. We can certainly touch base on that. I think that would be really good to talk about. But anyways, how was school this week?
School, it's one of the first weeks, so it's they're introducing new stuff to get me up there, So
Yeah.
later, in a month or a week or two or in a year, when I'm near done with those, I'm pretty good at them to the point where, it's easy for me to do it and it doesn't take that much effort. Yeah.
Yeah. Now in school, so when I was in school, I think it was elementary school up until 5th grade, and then 6th grade through 8th grade, we started rotating through classes. What grade do you start rotating classes at your school? Do you know?
Do you mean
Because
periods?
yours is considered do you move to
That's
different
middle school.
classrooms?
That's middle school.
Okay. So
To 6th grade.
right. So it's the same as the school that I went to. There's this huge, huge slide that goes down this really long hill. So in the wintertime, they would let you go sledding during recess. You could put all your snow stuff on and go sledding.
I've never gone sledding.
You haven't gone sledding?
I had plans of it maybe 3 years ago, I would say. So before I went to Greenwood Lodge, I think I've never gone sledding.
How have you never gone sledding? Oh my
I slept in the
God.
basement. We just never got to going to the hill and down them.
Right.
We just
Yeah,
never got to
the worst part of sledding is walking back up the hill.
Yeah.
That's
My
the
friends say
worst
that.
part. It's so fun when you're doing it, but when you have to walk back up that hill with all your snow gear on and you're carrying like
It's like,
we used to snow like with the snow tubes, like the blow up tubes.
that's
They
what
look
we
like a
have.
yeah, they look like a pool float, but they're like heavy duty. I don't know. They go fine in the
Yeah.
snow.
So what? Ours are probably covered in dust, but still insulated with air because they're
Yeah,
down in our basement.
you have to go sledding.
Yeah.
You
Maybe
absolutely have to.
if
Maybe
this
we can do that
Christmas,
this, yeah.
yeah, if you come over, we should definitely go to the big hill near my school and just,
Yeah, there's even this place, it's like out near where my mom lives, and they're like a ski and a snowboarding place. So they do like they generate and make their own snow. And so that way, like, even if it's not snowing out, like, say it's like not predicted to get any snow, they make their own snow. So you can go like whenever, like, they're open every single day. But there, I think they have this like thing that like takes you up to the top.
that sounds better than going from the hill
Right.
and just going.
Right. So you don't have to walk, like, you just literally take the little lift up to the top and then
Yeah,
you come down.
I've always wanted to go sledding.
I still just cannot believe that you've never went sledding before. That is just so crazy to me.
Like,
I'm
I would go
flabbergasted.
sledding if I could.
So let's explain the dynamic because I think it's important that people know. So like we said earlier, I met Andre when he was about 4 or 5. Because
Think I was 4.
he was born and raised in Florida with his mom. And so I didn't talk to my brother. He's my stepbrother, but I called him my brother. He's been in my life since I was like, I don't know, 10 or 11. So I grew up with him. He's my brother. I don't call him my stepbrother. So if you hear me say my brother, I'm
That's
talking
who
about my
she's
brother
referring to.
Brandon or my brother Brian, and they're both my stepbrothers. So, but Brandon and I, we kind of fell out. Long story short, Brandon was in the military, and he's gone through a lot of hardships in his life, and I'll leave it at that. That's his story to tell. Because we all don't know what he went through when he was overseas.
Okay.
So, we weren't talking. We were not on a talking basis, and so I didn't even know that Andre was gonna be a thing. I didn't know anything about him. And then when I did find out about him, he was already his mom was pregnant with him, but she had moved to Florida. So I never even got to meet her. I didn't meet your mom until
Like,
until you were
recent
4 or
years.
5. Yeah. When I met you is when I met your mom.
Yeah.
So, it's just interesting. So when we finally met, obviously my brother is, still not around. And so we would see each other when I'd come home to New York, which, I wasn't working remotely then. So, it was like, what, once or twice a year you'd see me, if that.
Like, once or twice a year. When I was like 5, I saw you. So, like, when I was 4, I saw you twice. When I was 5, I saw you like once. When I was 7,
Yeah.
like, that's when I first started to like go there a lot more. Because the first time I ever met you, I think, was down in North Carolina for like something.
When they picked you up.
Yeah. When they picked me up
in Florida.
And then I started to live down in New York.
Yeah. Yep. And you've been in New York since you were 4. So you've been in New York for more than
actually,
half your life now.
Yeah. I like it here.
What do you miss about Florida?
The fact that almost every single day, like, my mom is still surprised that I remember this. When I was like 2, 1, and 3, every single day we would go down to the beach. I still remember it. It
You
was such
still
a good
remember
fun.
that?
Yeah, it was such a good.
See, that's why you haven't ever been sledding, because you're like a little beach boy.
No,
You're like a little
nurse,
beach
like,
boy. Ooh, little beach
You
boy.
want to know something funny?
What?
So,
Spill the tea.
so there's something about Florida that's left like an impact for some reason on like how I feel temperature, because I will wear sweatshirts like a month before summer. If that. Like, they said if we see Like a
So are you
sweatshirt during
cold-blooded?
the
Is
summer.
that what that means when you're cold?
I think.
Like cold-blooded?
I think cold-blooded, I
I
still
think where
means.
you're raised definitely plays a part in the temperature that you desire.
Yeah,
Because
I like to
I
be
was
more
born
warm.
and raised in New York, and I lived in New York until I was 25, 24,
So you've been
and I
living there
moved, right. And so I
6
moved to
years?
North Carolina when I was 24. And I, when I go home to New York, like in the winter, it's like I can't tolerate it. Because the winter here is so mild. It's like on Christmas Day last year, I remember we literally ate outside. We had our Christmas dinner outside on the porch.
That's like such
Be-
an odd
It
Christmas
was just so
day.
nice out. Like you just
Last year we didn't
don't.
even get any snow. Like we got 2 days of snow, and one of them like
Yeah.
had like zero snow. Hey, Christmas didn't even have any snow, which is like the first
Back in the
time in a
day,
while.
I remember like snow days for school. They would, I mean, like some kids, because the school I went to was like such a, it was in the country. So like kids lived like on dirt roads and like out in the woods. And some kids, the school would call their parents and be like, hey, our school buses can't come up your road. So you're either going to have to bring your kids or they're going to have to take a day. Instead of like calling school off, they would just call these parents and tell these kids they didn't need to go to school. It's literally
So like,
crazy.
some kids would just sit there being like, 1 + 2
Right.
equals 3, and then they would just be like playing Mario or something on their NES.
Right. They just did whatever they wanted to do. They'd like go ride four-wheelers or whatever.
Lucky, I love going riding on the 4-wheelers.
I know, me too. I want to do like there's like this it's like a trail and it's in like West Virginia or Virginia. And
Far
you can
away.
like yeah, but you can like you could just go stay and you can like camp and stuff all along these trails. There's like hundreds of miles of trails. And you can take like side by sides, dirt bikes, four-wheelers, all that. And you can just like take them out. I want to do that so bad. I think that would be really fun.
That sounds good. That genuinely just sounds like a nice, fun thing to just
right.
go over
Just
and
be
just
out in the
do as a
woods.
family. Yeah,
No, not as a family, Andre. Just us.
that's mean.
If we took our whole family,
Like it would cost $2.
we would have to take a tour bus out on the trails.
How-
Coming through.
Family coming through.
Oh my god. Yeah, so that I think would be like super fun to do. So what are your thoughts like on school lunches?
Boring. Oh, school lunches. Okay. The best part of the day.
Okay, so you like the
A
school
longer
food.
recess. I don't really eat the lunch, bro. I just sit there and talk with my friends and drink chocolate milk and stuff.
Okay,
go
so
eat
what kind
outside?
of food? I really loved when they would have like strawberry milk.
We don't get strawberry milk anymore.
It would be
I
very
heard the middle
rare.
school used to.
Yeah, so it would be like very rare. Like every once in a while, they'd get like a case of strawberry milk, and you'd have to fight people over it.
You'd have to like
And-
battle to the death. You'd like
Yes.
take, you know how like in cartoons they would like take an entire
was-
or like a chair and just throw it on
Yeah,
someone?
it was
That's what you had to
savage.
do to get strawberry milk.
It was crazy. People would go nuts for the strawberry milk. But the problem is the strawberry milk was in a pink and white container, like carton, but so was skim milk. Skim milk was also in a pink and white, but the pink was just like a little bit different. So one time, like I picked it up and I was like, oh my God, yeah, I got a strawberry milk, right? No. I opened it and it was skim milk. It tasted like water. Cloudy water. Yeah. Yeah.
I think they served that at our school for like white milk. I don't know how kids drink that. It stinks and tastes disgusting. The first time I tried it, it was like right before COVID. Like I was like, I always keep the chocolate milk. Why not try the white milk? So like I opened it up. I was like, That doesn't spell normal. And then I was like, anyways, so I opened it up, slammed my straw on the table, get the straw out, did that, and I was like, does this taste? And they're like, yeah, it tastes super good. I was like, I genuinely spat on myself.
Oh my God. Have you?
That was disgusting.
So before they had milk cartons, they would have milk in a bag.
Oh.
And I need to show you this.
Imagine you put that in the freezer and it's just like, keeps like the bottom half of the bag in place when you put it in the freezer.
It was like insane. Okay. So you would literally get it and you would stab it with a straw. So it was like, the game Cornhole? How you have like the little like bags, like the hacky sack bag things.
Yes.
So that's about the size it was, the plastic bag, and they were filled with milk. So you would squeeze it so it like popped up a little bit, and then you would stab it with your straw, and this is what it looked like.
Ew.
And it's just like a bag.
How hot bags can get? I'm not drinking that.
Just a bag of milk.
It sounds good and bad, but like I'm thinking like, first of all, imagine it explodes. What are you gonna do? Nothing. They're gonna send you home. This be like womp womp, cry about it. And then
that's why you have to be careful.
If you don't refrigerate it enough, you're gonna have like a bag of warm milk, and it's gonna be like,
no.
I don't think I'll drink today.
No.
So, my sister wanted to pull an April Fool's prank, and she had this Barbie sunscreen. And she was like, wait. So, like, last time, she was like, this looks like milk. And she took it and put the milk out. And then she felt guilty about it, so she drank it.
Ew.
And now I don't get sunscreen or sunburns. I've never gotten sunburn.
Andre, you realize I work with dermatologists, right? And that is a myth. There's no way you ate sunscreen and now you don't get sunburns.
I never gotten a sunburn.
That's going to be like the next TikTok trend. If you eat a bottle of sunscreen, you will be immune to sunburns.
Fun fact, my mom is lactose intolerant, and I didn't learn that until recently. And I've lived with her my entire life.
Well, I think she still dabbles in the dairy, and she just pays the consequence for it.
No. But the only time she'll ever get dairy is for eating pizza, like cheese.
Well, that's what I mean. She'll eat dairy, but she just pays the consequences later in the bathroom.
Stop. You're acting like it's going to be her demise one of these days.
When Uncle Pat and I met, he lived in Massachusetts, and I had just moved to North Carolina. So we were like long distance. We would talk. And he had came to North Carolina. We had been talking for like, I don't know, 2 months. I went to New York. We met in New York in person. We started officially dating. And he came down like the next month. He came to North Carolina to visit. And it was the weekend of 4th of July. And I didn't want to poop in front of him. I was so terrified to poop with him like around. So I made him go outside on the balcony, and I locked him out there in the balcony so that way I knew he couldn't come in and listen to me poop.
What you do? Like, you would get some, you'd go and like, like, I can
judge me, maybe? I don't know. Judge me, I guess.
Like, you don't have on your poop splatter stuff.
You don't have poop anxiety?
No.
You don't? So, like, if you have to poop at school, you just go in the bathroom and let it rip?
If I have to poop at school, number one, I'm not going to because the toilet seats. God knows what's happened to those. Like, the toilet seats are, like, yellow and stained, and they have, like, scratch marks all over them.
Ew, how old are they?
I don't even know.
They're
we got
probably
like,
really
bathroom
old.
stalls, so like they're better. Like we have
Right.
new bathroom stalls, so they're better with security. There's still a hole under the door. If they wanted to get in, they would either have to parkour their way up and get in and start tickling my
Yeah.
toes, or they would have to just under the door.
Yeah,
It's not
school
secure.
bathrooms are, it sounds like they haven't changed at all.
They haven't.
And that is...
In fact, if they did, they got worse.
Right. Yeah, when I went to school, thankfully the high school and the middle school that I went to, they were like in a newer part of the building. So like the school had like their main building, but they have like added on. And so a lot of it was redone, renovated, whatever. So when I was in school, a lot of that was had just been done. So it was like nicer, but kids destroy everything.
True.
You'd go in the bathroom, there's writing all over the brand new stalls. Like, are kids like that now?
Still, yeah. I once came
Yeah,
into
they
the
still
bathroom.
write on the walls.
I once came into the bathroom and I saw poop smeared on the walls.
No.
It was so disgusting. It's to the point where, like, that's the last time I ever used the school bathroom.
Who
And
was
if I ever
playing
did, I'll
in their
see it.
poo?
I don't know, like, they're doing, like, monkey rolls.
Your school needs the poo-poo police. Oh, my God.
They're, like, doing a monkey ASMR role play, and they're going,
Ew. No, nasty. Yeah, school bathrooms. Do you guys still have water fountains?
oh my god, don't get me started on the water. It's either the water fountains in the winter are dead cold. In the summer, they're, like, really warm.
Ew.
And, like, I hate warm water. Like, I'm pretty sure water is the only thing that where, like, the temperature changes how it tastes. Because water when it's warm, is like, ugh, get away from me. Water when it's cold,
I'm
it's
not
like,
really a
perfect.
fan of like room temp water.
Who is?
Well, so like so it depends on room temp because like when we have our air going, you know, it's like 71, 72 in the house. So if you take that bottle of water outside and it's 90 degrees, that bottle of water feels kind of cold when you're outside. Like, you know, you take it outside. But
I'm hanging out.
I went to school with this girl. She'd keep a case of water in the back of her car. And in the summer, she'd be like, you want a bottle of water? And I'm like, no. Because it'd be like literally 120 degrees. It'd be like you could put a tea bag in it and drink hot tea. The water would be so warm. I'm like, that is not refreshing to me. How can you just take that bottle of water out of your trunk? And
oh my goodness! One time, it was like the middle of the night. I hadn't even had my fan on for the day because I was leaving and it was summertime. I think it was right before I went on vacation to go see my mom's dad. So my mom's mom, no, my mom's dad. So I left it in there with no fan, and I thought I had the fan on, so I in like my room can get up to like 60 degrees with like the fan on. So I was like,
really?
it'll be yes. It's like at night sometimes it gets really cold, and I hate it. So like to the point where I turn off the fan on, it's like too warm now.
I like it when it's cold. You don't like the room cold when you go to sleep?
Whenever I go to sleep, I want my fan on, yes, but like I want to be covered up in blankets. That's too warm.
That's me.
Like I stick
but
out
I want
my leg
like
and
my
I'm
foot
like,
out. Yes.
like I stick out my leg and I was like, that's perfect. And I was like, wait, now my pillow's too warm. So I like turn it over and I just go to sleep. Oh my goodness. Then whenever someone like is rude to me or something, I wish like that both sides of the pillow are warm. So like at night they're trying to go to sleep where it's like,
you're like, oh, you want to pick on me? I hope your pillow is warm at night. And they'll be like, what? When I
was younger,
about?
I said I once like threw a water bottle at my friend on accident. So
how do you throw a water bottle at someone on accident?
Wait, did I say water bottle?
Yeah.
I did say what?
A water cup. How do you accidentally throw? You were like,
I was like 5.
Take that.
No. So like I was younger and like I was like 5, I would say. Like I was new to the school. So like when I picked up the water, I wasn't expecting how like small the cups were, and for some reason the water was freezing cold. So I picked it up right before I was about to go to my seat, and I realized how cold it was. So like my hand like moved up and down, like jerked a little because it was like cold. So like the water cup was like flew out of my hands onto my friend's leg, and like for the rest of the day he just had to walk around with like a wet leg. I'm praying his socks weren't wet. I'm praying his socks wasn't wet.
The water was really cold.
It was so cold. Like they had like so much ice in that thing. I don't think I want to go on Amazon or Etsy.
What do you know about Etsy? Etsy is totally my era.
I saw someone sell like a Dwayne The Rock Johnson like octopus.
Wait,
where like the head was just Dwayne The Rock Johnson's head.
And it was on an octopus body?
Yeah.
What
it was like
the
3D
heck?
printed. I want that so bad. Just to hang up on my wall or something. And then like when people come over, I was like, yeah, that's my Dwayne The Rock Johnson octopus.
Oh my
I bet
God.
you're jealous. That would be so crazy.
Yeah. 3D printers are pretty cool. One time I saw like a boat, a 3D printed boat.
No.
What do you mean no?
No. Why would 3D printed? No. 3D printers, but sometimes like most of the materials that they use, they're either strong or super weak. The box is probably super weak to the point where the water will puncture it and you'll be like, looks like I'm dead.
Yeah, but I feel like that can happen on any boat, right?
It can, but like
look at Titanic.
You're better off. The Titanic sunk from an ice.
Yeah, but it ran into it and it caused a hole.
It's not like the 3D printed thing. And it's just like, I'm sinking.
What do you...
It's an iceberg. That's completely different. Like,
but I feel like 3D...
You wouldn't expect this to like live.
So my question would be is, because I know with 3D printers, you can have different filament, like it's made of different material. So you could probably make a boat out of material that actually floats. So the boat would never sink. Right?
So you're saying what I do is I get a life vest from my local pool and I buy enough to make a boat.
Speaking of local pools, do you want to tell our friend?
I dragged myself right into that one, didn't I?
You did. It's my favorite story about you.
No.
It's my favorite. No. I love it so much. It's so funny. Okay, we don't have to.
Fine, I'll say it. Okay,
I'll set the mood. It was a hot summer day. And Andre was feeling really confident in himself. So he went to the local pool.
No, it was for a field trip.
Oh.
So, recently, I went to a public pool, and I'm not that good at swimming. So I wasn't expecting to pass the swim test. But if you did, there was multiple things you could do. You could jump off a diving board, like a average-sized diving board, or you can jump off this high diving board. I was like, no way I'm doing the high.
The high diving board, hold on, we got to tell them this part. So the regular diving board was like 2 feet up off the side of the pool edge. The other diving board is like 10 to 12 feet off from the top. So you climb up a little ladder.
If I'm jumping off any of those, I'm jumping off the little one. And like, I passed, and I got like a bracelet to like show that I passed.
Yep.
So what I did was, I was swimming in there for a while, and my friend dared me to do it. So I was like, does it matter? And he's like, no. And I was like, okay, I'm jumping off the little one. And the fun thing is, it was like 13 feet down. So if I was doing the 10-foot one, I would be going 20 feet down. No. So what I'm doing is, I didn't know that when you dive, you're supposed to like hold your face with your goggles and then jump down. I had like those nose goggles. So like, it was even more pain for my nose because I wasn't plugging it.
He wasn't able to plug his nose because he had the goggles with the nose piece on it, so he didn't have to.
I jumped in, I went, and then I immediately hit the water, and it hurt my butt more than anything. And then like my goggles like slung off my face, and like I inhaled like a...
And water rushed him.
Let me off.
Why am I laughing? My nephew almost drowned at the local pool, and I just think that's funny. I don't know.
That's so funny.
I think that it's funny now to me because you told me after the fact. I wasn't there when it happened.
Yeah.
If I was there when it happened, I probably would have jumped in after you.
So,
maybe.
the funniest thing is, like, I don't know why, but my grandma, she was the first person to hear about the story. I was moving my goggles. They were right on top of my head. Like, they were right on top of my head, like Cappy from Mario Odyssey. They were just sitting on top of my head.
Wait, so did anybody see you?
Most of the people watching me.
Oh, that's right, because then didn't the lifeguard jump in?
I just learned it wasn't even the lifeguard. It was just, like, some cool guy.
Oh, like, good thing. Good thing a cool guy was there because the lifeguard was just... The lifeguard was probably putting on sunscreen. He could have been eating the sunscreen to not get a sunburn.
Was he, like, imitating my some milk?
Right. Maybe he was like, hey, I know that boy. He ate sunscreen when he was little, and now he doesn't get sunburned, so I'm going to do that, too.
I'm going to make a TikTok right out of this.
Yeah, right. And then all the while, you're literally drowning in the pool.
Yeah. So, like, this guy, like, he was really cool. And, like, he was the one that was, like, encouraging me to do it. He was like, if you want to do it, do it. Because, like, if you do it, you'll realize, like, you shouldn't have been scared of it.
That sounds like a pretty cool guy, actually.
So, like, I jumped in, and then immediately he was watching me to see if I would do well or not. And, like, I guess he noticed I wasn't holding my goggles. So, like, he immediately jumped in the second he saw me not holding my goggles.
Yeah.
And then he just immediately just jumped in and, like, pushed me towards, like, the thing. And I lost my green bracelet, and I was crying.
They took your bracelet?
Yeah, that was evil.
They're like, nope, he's not ready.
I'm still at villain arc from that.
Hey, but what did you learn from that experience?
Nothing.
Oh, stop lying.
Okay, I learned one thing. If some really cool guy was talking to you and, like, encouraging you to do something that you were trying to do, they're pretty cool. That's the only thing I learned from the situation.
Yeah, I think too, though. Come back. Where are you going? Come on. Stay on track here. No, I think this is a good experience because now you know. Okay, if you're gonna jump off the diving board, what are you gonna do if you jump off the diving board next time? You're gonna hold on to your goggles. You're gonna make sure those goggles are suctioned to your face so they don't come off. Because when you jump off a diving board, though, when you have your goggles on, it is so cool. When you hit the water, you can, like, see the hole underneath the pool. It's really cool.
No, speaking of water, when I was at a sleepover with my friends, like, they were, like, in his pool, because he has a pool, and, like, he was reminding me, he was like, do you remember those videos where, like, people get their waterproof phones, put them underwater, and just, like, make cool water videos? I was like, wait, what phone do you have? And he's like, the iPhone 14. I'm like, I'm pretty sure that's waterproof. And he was like, well, heck, we might as well test it out. So he, like, we made a TikTok of it. For some reason, the audio is really bad on that, but, like, everything else was perfectly fine.
Yeah.
So, like, we threw the phone into the pool. I immediately picked it up. Like, I picked it up on the wrong side, and I was, like, smiling. Like, so that's what the camera's on. And,
my God.
We picked it up, and, like, we were wondering, like, why is the screen black? And I turned it on, and I was, it works. And, like,
that's
2 hours, like, 5 hours later, we tried to charge it, and they're like, water damage, to the point where he quite literally,
that's
like,
the difference.
Like, do you want to know what he did? Like, I guess he has, like, a vacuum mouth or something, because he, like, put his mouth over, like, the charging port, and, like,
interesting. You know, you're just supposed to put the phone in rice.
Well, that would have saved him.
Yeah, you leave it in, like, a bowl of rice and you let it sit for, like, a day or two, and the rice, like, absorbs the moisture. When I was your age, we didn't have cell phones.
You didn't have cell phones. You had bricks.
No, we did have cell phones. Okay, I'm not that freaking old. Okay, I'm not that old.
Me and the dinosaurs.
We had... Dinosaurs aren't real.
Yes, they are.
No. Yeah, dinosaurs are not real.
Yeah, no. We
So
billions of years ago.
I know, I'm just joking. But anyway, so back in my day, we had cell phones, but like just your parents had them. Like kids didn't have cell phones. I didn't get a cell phone until I was like, 15, 16 years old. But my sister, who's 7 years younger than me, she got a phone when she was like, 12. So times are changing, I realize. But when we would go swimming, if we wanted to take pictures underwater, we'd have to buy
You'd have to get like a
disposable cameras, and they were made specifically for underwater. So they came in like a plastic, watertight
Why don't you
case.
just get a cup? Like
What do you
get
mean
like a cup. You get like a clear glass cup. So it's completely clear and it has like no patches or anything on it, and you just like put your phone in and you pour it underwater.
Hey, guess what? We didn't have phones. That's what I'm trying to tell you. We didn't have phones. The phones that we did have, they didn't take pictures. There was no camera on these phones.
It's smiling.
Because I'm feeling very old right now. I'm feeling... Right. It's like... It's crazy because like you think, okay, so like my grandfather, before he passed away in 2018, but he would tell me and my sister, Kirsten, about how he hitchhiked from New York to California in like the 70s. And I just think sometimes like how different the world is.
Yeah, it is.
Because can you imagine? He was like 16 or 17 when he did this. Can you imagine at 16 hitchhiking across the country? Like that's just things that you just can't do nowadays. You can't trust people like that nowadays. So it's just crazy how times change as each generation goes. Things that I would do at 16, you probably shouldn't be doing at 16. Or you might be doing them even younger. I don't even know.
What were you doing at the age of 16, huh?
I was doing a lot of stuff at 16.
Tell me what you were doing to be like, I shouldn't do this. You tell me.
I mean, so when I was 7, my mom was with somebody new. My mom and my dad split up when I was like 5. They split up. And
is that my grandpa?
Grandy.
Yeah, Grandy.
Grandy.
Yeah, Grandy.
So Grandy and my mom, they split up when I was like 4.
You got custody.
And I lived with my mom, but I would go to my dad's every other weekend. With my sister, we'd go with Grandy every other weekend. But when my mom met my stepdad, 2 years later, she ended up having Megan, my sister. I don't even remember where I was going with the story, but
I've never met them. I always hear stuff. Like I always hear like Granny and Grandy talking, or Grandy or Gigi talking about Megan. It's that, and there's like I don't know them.
Yeah. So, growing up, I was in like a broken family pretty much. So like I lived with my mom, my stepdad, my sister Kirsten, and my sister Megan. But because Megan's dad wasn't my dad, it just wasn't the same dynamic as you would expect for, a family. And also, like my parents did not get along. They did not get along whatsoever. So it was very much separated. And so as I became a teenager, I was really just kind of out there. I had a lot of emotions about my parents being divorced and not together. It was a really difficult time for me growing up to deal with that. So I was just doing all the things. I was doing the things that I shouldn't have been doing.
You were like smoking cigarettes?
Oh yeah. Smoking the ciggies. And I just thought that like that was like
ciggies. Like you're acting like children. You're acting like they're like your children, and it's like touching my cig.
I need a ciggy. Like,
Ew.
yeah.
Don't speak like that
Right.
ever again.
Right. Like drinking. I was drinking at like 14. What is happening, right? But it was just because I didn't know how to.
Hey, now there's like people drinking that under the age of 12.
Right. And I think that it's a lot of it is kids don't have a good outlet to release those feelings, thoughts, and emotions because a lot of kids don't have their parents together. Like when I was young, that was kind of rare. Like all of my friends,
Still
their
kind of
parents
is.
were together, you know? Like they
Yeah.
were always like they're like your parents are divorced. What does that mean? I'm just like, well, I don't know. I guess I'm the lucky one. Like I guess I'm the lucky one that gets divorced parents. Cool.
Well,
But it was just different and I just didn't know what to do with those emotions. So I
yeah.
did things that were not good. But now it's like, now I'm like,
Yeah.
I'm so happy that I made it through those things because there were some sketchy times.
Like, I feel like if, like, some people don't know how to express their emotions, like, correct, or, like, they don't know how to express their emotions to anyone, if I, like, have any strong emotion, I share it with, like, someone that I trust. My mom,
Yeah.
Grammy, you, Gigi, anyone, really. If, like, I
Yeah.
have a strong emotion that I just, like, am feeling and I just don't know how to get rid of it or something.
Yeah. And a
I feel
lot of
like,
people don't
yeah,
express their
if
feelings.
if anyone like watching this has one of those, like, tell someone you trust, and I trust me, you will feel way better by the end of it.
Yeah. Sometimes just getting off your chest
Yeah.
makes you feel better. Yeah. No, even as an adult, I'm like, I need a hug. Like, I'm feeling really down today. I need a hug, you know? Because life is hard. Life is so hard, no matter how old you are. I'm like, people are always like, oh, when I was your age. I'm like, I do not care. Life's hard. Life is hard.
Either way, like, it doesn't matter if it was harder for you back
Yes.
then, life is still as difficult for us. Because, like,
Yes.
even though some people, like, we come up with new stuff every single day and year that can help us through our lives, like,
Right.
and like that, like, if it's something electrical, there goes your
Yep.
electric bill, it goes higher. So, like, even if something helps us more, like, instead of just doing it, like, by hand or manually, it's still, like, it still has its cons. So, like,
Right.
I feel like most people, like, older people, like, I feel like they just look over that and there's, like, your life isn't as hard as it was back then. It is. Like, just, like,
Right.
obviously for me, it's not. I'm a kid. I mooch off my mom because I don't have a job.
No, 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 no. So that's
Yes, I
the thing,
do.
though. That's what people think. People think that kids,
Like, we had such an easy life. We don't.
yeah. No, the thing about kids is you don't have any control over
Yeah.
what happens to you. Like, all the control is left to your parents. So if you don't have good parents, if you don't have present parents, you have no control over if the rent is paid. You have no control if the electricity stays on or off because your parents have to pay for that, and if they're not responsible, and or say they lose their job, like you're helpless. You're a kid, you can't get a job, but you have to live in those conditions. So like I think for kids it's even harder because they end up having to like step up to a plate that they're not mentally experienced enough for, I think.
Like, I feel like in, like, so if there's anyone that has kids watching this, most likely not. Like, if you have a kid that's like they're still living with you, like, they're not a teen yet, I feel like you should start, like, kind of aging them towards, not aging, but, like, pushing them towards being more it's called self something.
Like
So, like,
self-sufficient?
yes, and like pushing them to working more so that, like, when they grow up and they have to get a job and they have to pay rent, get a house, do all that stuff, they're ready because, like, after, like, the years of preparation that you given them, like, they're just more
Right.
ready than just you just, like, being like,
Yeah, and I think a lot of parents too, they say like, "Oh, my kids don't need to know about the finances. They don't need to know about, how this stuff works." And I think that that's where they're wrong.
Yeah.
So kids do need to know, like, money doesn't grow on trees.
I mean, technically it does, because trees make paper and money made out of paper.
Right. But the importance of, getting a job.
We fail to, like, understand how significant money is in this economy.
Right.
Because, like,
And just the economy in general, like prices.
Like, most, like, a kid, like, if they see, like, a pack of gum at the store is like $5, so, like, it's not that much. For an adult, that's a lot. That's a lot of money. Because, like, when you're younger, like, you don't know the significance of money nowadays.
Right. And not only that, but when you go to the grocery store with your mom, you're not looking at the prices on anything.
You're just like, I want.
You're not giving your money to the cashier when you check out.
I mean, I look at the prices if I want something.
Yeah, but I mean, like, you don't know the depths of it. Like, your mom working 40 hours a week to make a small paycheck.
Yeah.
And missing out on time with, because some kids, like not you, because your mom works a day job. So she's home at, 5 o'clock.
Yeah.
To have the evening with you, to make dinner, do home, like, whatever it is. She's there with you. Some kids don't have that luxury.
Yeah.
Sometimes their parents work like second shift where they work 3 to 11. Right. So, their nights might look a little bit different. And just having somebody there to kind of help you, makes a difference. And I think it's important for kids to kind of know, how to do basic stuff. Do I think that kids need to be grown-ups? Absolutely not.
No.
But I think that, like you were saying, teach them how to be kind of self-sufficient and teach them enough to get by and to not be clueless. But don't give your kids adult responsibilities.
Yeah, like, just kind of be like, try and teach them. So, like, don't give them a credit card.
Right.
Just, like, give them a little bit of amount of money every week and just tell them, like, this is how much you're allowed to spend for the week. Right. Don't ask for any more. Like, kind of like how they would work out with their paycheck. And then when they're older, like, they'll know how to work with the money. So, like, if you don't want to give your kids, like, money, that's perfectly fine. But, like, come up with something. So, like, if they want a longer time on their game, like, they have to do more stuff and earn, like, a point or, like, currency of some sort to, like, earn her stuff. Kind of like my teacher does that. Like, she has this marble thing. If you do good, we get marbles. But if we don't, they take away marbles. That's obviously not how a job works. But, like, if your kid is, like, if they want to, like, do this and stuff, if they're, like, a teenager, like, either give them some money every week and be like, this is how much you're allowed to spend, or just, like, come up with a currency. So, like, they want to spend more time on a video game, that's, like, an amount of currency that they have. You take it away from them.
Right.
If they want, like, more food, since obviously food going to cost money, you just take more. And, like, you just kind of teach them to be more, like...
Yeah, I think there's definitely, like a happy medium.
Yeah.
Yeah, so what's coming up this week? What do we got going on this week?
Nothing. Hopefully.
So you've got a full week of school coming up. So we've got the last week of September rolling in.
Wait,
the
what
23rd through the 27th. Ends on September 30th. Which is not this coming Monday, but next Monday. So anyways, Andre, I think that it's been a lovely first episode.
Yeah,
don't you? I think that was good. I think we were able to talk about a lot of different things. What do you think?
Yeah, I think.
Anything else you want to say to our listeners before we go?
Thank you guys all for watching. We'll see you in the next episode. But before you leave, please email us at our email, and we will try and answer your questions. And you will get two sides of the story from two different generations. Thank you. Love you. Bye.
Wow, that's great. Yes, thank you all for joining us. Our email is going to be in the description. You can go ahead and send us an email, and we will definitely read it and hopefully talk about it on the podcast. If you want us to talk about something, drop it in the comments. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Anyways, thank you all so much for joining us today. I am so excited to continue talking with you, Andre. I'm like so excited. So excited. All right. Well, until next time.
Bye bye.
Bye bye.